It's Guns in the 701, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing great. How about you, Todd?
Hey, I'm ready for 70 some odd degrees this weekend. I'm digging it.
I'm so ready.
Convertible weather.
An hour early.
It's darn convertible weather, man. I gotta get that thing out of the garage, which means I gotta get all the stuff I got sitting in it out of it. And I figured I had a few weeks to get that thing ready, but nope, I guess not. But that's all right. I don't mind jumping the gun a little bit. Ha, get it? Jumping the gun. See what I did there?
Jumping the gun. Last week's word was better. Glock. I thought that worked a lot better.
I thought you'd like that one. It can't be a gun one every Friday. Although it probably could be. So I don't know. I had to mix it up a little bit. I had to keep folks on their toes.
Well, the way ATF is going, maybe you better use ATF one of these days. They're a bunch of commies.
That's 3 words. It's got to be one word. I guess today's word should have been loophole. What's going on with the gun show loophole? I think of these things afterward, but
Go ahead, Mike. I know you got this one covered.
Well, the gun show loopholes, of course, the ATF executives doing the no-knock stuff, they, under suspicion, they raided a guy's home because he was suspected of doing it. Now, they did it at 6 in the morning. They had 10 vehicles and agents and everything else break into the guy's house. He, of course, thought that they were breaking into his house, so he defended himself, ended up shooting one of the ATF agents in the legs. Of course, it ended up getting him shot dead. But I guess they don't have to take him to court now. Because he's no longer with us, but that's one way, I guess, for them to kind of infringe upon us. I mean, this no-knock gun loophole thing is being used continually. I mean, I think the president just did a new thing where he's trying to close the so-called loopholes, and all it's going to do is stop everybody. It's going to make everybody have to register every single weapon they have, and it's going to make everybody going to have to, you can't pass your guns down to your kids anymore. You can't sell them to your friends. You can't do anything because you're going to have Big Brother standing over your shoulder, making sure that everything's according to them on the level. So
what do we do? We bury the guns with you then, or what? What do we do? What's their goal here? I mean, come on.
Do not comply by any means.
Take the guns away. Go ahead, Clay.
I'm going to jump in here. I read, I got through about 56 pages of the 466-page final rule by the ATF from Merrick Garland and his commie groups out there at the ATF. And I'm telling you guys, out of that 56 pages, the whole narrative is to stop private sales. And that's what led to this guy. And even this guy here, Brian Malinsky, or Milaninsky, I don't know, I can't pronounce these last names anymore. But anyway, he's an executive director at the Little Rock, Arkansas airport. Now, think about
It can't all be Smith and Jones. I mean, come on now.
Well, it used to be, but anyway.
Well, then go back to the old country then. There's somebody saying it to their radio. Anyway.
Anyway, the thing is, this happened in Arkansas. This wasn't in Colorado or California or Illinois. This was in in Arkansas, not exactly an anti-gun state. But the ATF decided to take it upon their own. And, this FISA thing is being debated right now in Congress, and this all kind of leads and meshes together. You got these guys doing no-knock raids, so they had a warrant. It was issued, again, with a no-knock, and they came in the middle of the night. This guy heard it. His wife heard it. And he grabbed his gun. He thought he was being invaded. And I can tell you right now, if I heard noise in my house like that, I'd probably grab my guns and who knows what
exactly. Isn't that the whole point of this? Well, one of the whole points of the Second Amendment, or at least what we've been taught. Maybe the forefathers had a different idea. But, I mean, you've always had the right to defend your own turf.
Oh, absolutely. And most states have strengthened that with your stand your ground laws, except I guess the ATF feels they're exempt. They even covered the camera the guy had on his house so that you couldn't see what was going on. Gee, luckily they don't know where all my cameras are, so I have dogs and cameras. I should have a lot of notice before they get here.
All the more reason to have some cameras mounted rather high and rather secretively so that they can't find all of them. Maybe they'll find a few, but...
I'll be ready.
And it's not just them. I mean, it's the crook element too. You know, you don't want them finding him and covering him up. You know, spraying shaving cream into it. That's the old standard thing to do, right?
Yeah, and this is important because this happened March 19th this year, not that long ago, and now you have this final rule coming down from ATF. This is serious stuff, and this is all on suspicion. He wasn't guilty of nothing yet. He wasn't even accused yet. It was suspicion that he may be selling firearms via the gun show loophole, which, you know, when I read the definitions so far in this 56 pages I've gotten through, they basically don't set a number, but they imply it could be one gun sold for profit, essentially. And profit is even being redefined in this rule as bartering, receiving services along with, you know, cash, whatever else means if you make a profit. I'm telling you right now, they're leading up to something big, and I would be very, very skeptical as to what the ATF is doing. But I've been skeptical of them for a long time. Maybe it's just
really. I hadn't guessed, but there we are.
Yeah, I hadn't guessed, yeah.
Guns in the 701 here on K-Fire. Are doctors asking you about your guns? Wait a minute. We got the government asking, now doctors are asking? What's going on here?
Yeah, not the first time this has come up either. This happened in the 90s and the 80s even, actually. But that's what's happening. This was discovered. The Atlantic actually brought it to notice. And wouldn't you know that in this report, the place they're looking at is New York's largest healthcare system, Northwell Health. So go figure. They're the ones that have been trying to talk to their patients about guns, just as they would. Oh, hey, what do you eat? What do you do for exercise? Hey, how many guns you got in your house? Can you imagine that, Todd?
Oh, man. Well, my doctor would say, well, get some guns because then you're getting off your couch because you're not shooting at TVs. So in my case, it'd probably be a plus. But
I heard you tried to chime in, Mike. Go ahead.
No, it's just like, you know, none of your business, doctor. I've said that to my doctor plenty of times. It's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's, do you feel safe in your home? He says, well, when I'm there.
I always like that when they ask my wife that and I'm sitting right there. It's like,
wow.
If she doesn't, it would be because of me. What's she going to say when I'm right there? Anyway.
I got to say, I have never been asked that. It is, Mike. It's ridiculous.
Well, you're kind of a he-man, so of course I wouldn't ask you that.
Yeah, that must be it. I can tell you this. This has been coming down for a while. Obama was doing it and directed the CDC to start calling this, as well as the National Institute of Health, essentially a healthcare epidemic. That's what they were trying to declare, to try and skirt the Constitution in Congress, so that they could find ways in to see what people have. And some people are dumb enough to answer the question, yeah, I got guns, I got this. I mean, they would actually tell somebody that and it'd be written down, put on record. There are people out there. I mean, look at the votes the last few years.
They don't ask you about do you feel safe in your house, because statistically, you're probably the most likely person to inflict pain upon yourself. So there's no sense in asking you that.
You know, it's like, how you feeling? That's fine. They can ask me that. They can ask me how I'm feeling, because that's what doctors are supposed to do. You know, but as far as, you know, do you feel safe in your home? Well, yeah, I feel safe in my home because I'm not doing anything wrong. And who's going to answer the other way anyway? I mean, that's just absolutely dumb anyway. I mean, it's
well, you're certainly with me sitting right there, I would think my wife would statistically be answering, of course I feel safe, you know, even if she didn't. But I'd have to
feel safe.
I'd have to get off the couch to do any harm, and I can't possibly do that. Guns in the 701 here on K-Fire. Colorado ditches a plan to ban guns in so-called sensitive places. Is that what we're calling it now? Sensitive places? Is that the catchphrase?
Yeah, well, we've said that before, that it's not sensitive places. It's basically target zones. So I mean, it's just how it comes down to. But no, they're talking about sensitive places. Actually, they have said that. I think Clay will agree with this. They backed off that just a little bit. But they try to change some of the laws around on it. And I think what might be missed on this is that they're trying to change the wording on it now. And one of the things is on the public gatherings, of course, at medical facilities, banks, stadiums, amusement parks, bars, pot shops, and all that other stuff. But they're also talking about parking lots now. So technically, if you drive by one of these places, like down Main Street, then you're breaking the law as well. That's what they're going to try to do over in Colorado. So they're trying to twist the law around even worse to make it even more degrading to gun owners, because now you won't even be able to drive in certain areas of town, or they'll probably want to put a 500-yard distance between anything, which means you won't even be allowed to go into town with a weapon in your car or anything else. So, yeah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Colorado is just going for a huge gun grab right now and just trying to infringe upon the Second Amendment in every way they can.
They won't even let you.
And
Go ahead.
What I thought was very interesting is they backpedaled it because they were probably catching so much heat from what I understand. And they referenced, what I thought was funny is the gun grabber themselves referenced the Bruin decision, which they said this probably won't have standing in front of with the new Bruin decision, and they couldn't wait for another challenge in California, which will not. It's not going to happen. Bruin is always going to be held as the thing that's going to determine now, because the Supreme Court came down with a pretty distinctive decision. But think about this. They had pretty much banks. Let's just take banks, for example. Look around Bismarck yourself. How many banks are there in parking lots adjacent to them? That would have been considered an infringement under Colorado's law. I can't imagine what it's like in Denver or Minneapolis or any of these bigger areas if that law existed. And it's asinine. It was just a backdoor confiscation of your Second Amendment right and a denial of your Second Amendment rights. And we'll see. I guess I imagine that even this would be challenged in some aspect. If it, I don't know, I didn't look to see if it actually passed all the way, but I imagine it's going to be challenged as well and be upheld to Bruin no matter what.
All they're looking for in Denver is gummies anyways, so.
Well, no, and I see on this one, it's like you're right, Clay, because you're driving by something, say you've got an NRA sticker, well, that gives the cop probable cause to pull you over and then want to search your car, and then they say, well, you were in the zone, so we're going to go ahead and arrest you, and that's basically it's just doing this absolute power grab.
Does the 701, you know what? How about a happy ending to this story today?
Oh, yeah, and I'll go through this quick. I know we're hard on time here, but an 85-year-old woman, guys, and she was a mother. She had a disabled son living with her out in Idaho. Well, guess what? A masked man decided, by the name of Kondo, I believe, or Condon, he decided he was going to go in there and try to rob her. Well, he picked the wrong house, everybody. He went in there. He did gain the upper hand because he had his 9mm with him, and he beat her, the way it sounded, in her bed when he'd come in the middle of the night, tied her to a chair, then asked about valuables. She said she didn't have any. Oh, she probably got a disabled son at home. She probably don't have a lot of money because she's taking care of her son who needs health care and caring. So he goes downstairs looking for the safes, rummages around the house, finds the son in the house because he was still sleeping, and then he comes back and threatens her life again. Well, in the meantime, while he was doing all that, she wiggled her chair over, and she gets her .357 revolver, hides it between her cushion seat and the arm of the chair, and just waited for the right opportunity. And when the guy came back to threaten her life again because he found her son in the house, she decided to shoot him. Got him. He did manage to return fire, hit her leg and hit, I believe, her ankle or something, did wound her. He kind of stumbled off to the kitchen, and he died from his wounds. And that was probably the best thing could ever happen.
That's called karma.
Absolutely. And it shows the grit of someone from that era. And the prosecutor even said, he goes, listen here, he goes, this is the way this has got to go down. You can't be allowed to be threatened in your home or your life or your property.
Exactly.
And so no charges are going to be filed. She did get treated. She's doing good. I found out in a follow-up here, and she was released. So she survived the encounter, and like I said, the prosecutor said no person in this state shall be placed in legal jeopardy of any kind whatsoever for protecting himself. And that was after he made the ruling that she was right to use deadly force.
That is fantastic.
A clear attempt to retreat was not there. So yeah, it's great. It's
Harkening back to a moment ago, you're going to go to Colorado. Don't have an NRA sticker. Make sure you get the National Gun Association sticker.
Let's face it, your kids are going to get into your guns. That's a fact. Gun accidents can be avoided by introducing your children to guns as early as possible.
Hi, I'm Petey the Pistol. Say, do you ever get lonely?
Yes?
Me too. Hold me. If you squeeze me, I make bad people go away.
But wait a minute. I thought guns were bad. False. Guns are good. In fact, did you know that Jesus and Moses used guns to conquer the Romans? So remember, guns don't kill people. Dangerous minorities do. Guns are extremely dangerous. Do not purchase, own, clean, operate, or be near guns at any time.
Yeah, make sure you have the National Gun Association sticker, not the National Rifle Association sticker, when you go to Colorado and stock up on gummies. Guns in the 701, Friday mornings here at Cape Fire. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot. I got to slip one thing in. We
Yes.
got Drinks in the 701 coming up live tonight on all of our platforms with JD and the crew, and myself and Mike are going to be joining at 8 o'clock Central. So I want to stop by. It's kind of we did one of these here about a month ago. It was really fun and a lot of great information and discussion. So tune in for that, and don't forget to hit iHeart.com and find Guns in the 701 and K-Fire. Best podcast around.
Fantastic. Have a great weekend, guys. Take care.